Okay, we got this old gal turned up and bottoms up, and we're getting ready to take out the well, not take out, but we're going to remove the connections to all the ecaps in here. I believe there's enough lead on these caps to bring them over and tie into this terminal strip. If not, we'll put a new wire on the connection point and take it into one of these. I have the caps right here ready to go, and they're identified as usual. We just need to pick a slot in here for them to go onto, and we'll transfer them into the chassis here so that we don't get them screwed up. This shorting bar right here ties the two end lugs together. That is going to be the B minus. This let me get a little pointing stick here. That blue lead you see right there comes up to here, and that little blue lead you see right there comes up to this one, and then it's shorted with this coated magnet wire, linking the two together. That blue one and that blue one there was clipped at midpoint, and this half was taken up to here, this half was taken up to there. Now we just got to slot in our 6 caps to do the trick. We're getting ready to do that this morning. It is Wednesday morning, the 13th, I think. We replaced the cap in here that they put in an 05 with a safety cap, an X cap, before we got in here and started clogging up this place with some under chassis resistor capacitors. Everything else seems to be stiffy enough to hold everything nice and tight. There's no chance of any of this stuff leaning over and touching into anything that it shouldn't. It'd take some great effort to do it. We got a little toasty wire right there we're going to replace. Now, I hadn't noticed this on the checkout video, and I never mentioned it, and because it wasn't there to mention, I had just realized this morning when I was putting the safety cap in, I seen this yellow lead here on that switch, and a red lead here on that one, and a blue lead down here on this one, and a black lead right down there on that one. I'm thinking, wait a minute, there's something that should have been there. And then I realized there ain't no socket for the battery connection. So whenever they did the recapping on this, and this is all an assumption, they clipped these out because they put a polarized thing on there, and a polarized cord is not going to go into the plug area. Let me turn this thing over into that plug area right there to activate that switch, because the fat blade isn't going to go in there. So and that's one of the reasons why I didn't I didn't remove the old cord from the other chassis. I know I didn't make any videos of it, but I did for the owner, indicating that I wasn't going to do anything with the cord, but in case because the other ones had their sockets for the battery connection. So I'm just going to leave it as is, but I'm going to replace that wire. Sorry for the shadow there. And we're going to put these in right now. So stand by. Okay, here we are. We've got all the caps in according to here and identified according to the schematic. And I had to put them on the chassis here so that in case I ever had to refer before, I plugged these in one by one once I determined what number they were. There's 3 on this, off of this old cap here, and 3 off of that old cap. I left the negatives connected in there and redirected to these 2, just in case there was any attachments onto the other negative lugs of the isolated can. We got this wire replaced, that old Krusty the Clown. And in order to find out which one was which on these down here on this can dome, we had to take and, let me see if I can do this without damaging anything. We had to remove the can on the can ohm, right there, to follow the leads to see where they went, so that I could identify which one was which. That's what I would suggest to any newbies that are thinking about jumping into this thing. Always try to identify your caps according to your schematic. Which cap you're looking at, which cap you're going to work on, and identify the one that goes back in. It's the best way to learn where to look in circuits on these particular radios. If you do it like this, now you got to hunt and find out where the connections go and everything. When you're looking at a schematic and you see C23 or C24 or 27 or whatever number it is, when you go back in and you look at the thing, you can quickly identify where that cap is in the circuit, and then it's easier to trace from there. A lot of times these engineers of that era like to tie everything with wire or something, or to a lug that's unused on a tube or whatever, and it can send you on a wild goose chase. Let me tell you, I've gotten better at identifying these caps according to here. It makes it a hell of a lot sweeter to work on these radios that way. So that's what I would suggest. If you're going to start in on this stuff and get your feet wet, take a shot at identifying your caps. Whenever you don't just clip and replace, clip and replace, clip and replace. You don't learn anything that way. So now that we got that done, we're going to take and test fire this thing again and see where we're at. There was a condition of low volume on this. It could be from needing an alignment. I don't know if they did that after they did this capping. I'm assuming a good technician would, even back in that era, but you never know. Some of them like to cut corners. And then what we're going to do is, now I'm not going to consider replacing these because they look like they're pretty modernized and they should hold up pretty good. These here should hold up excellent. And any of the micas in here, they should be pretty well safe to consider them good. Okay, so we're going to do that next.